Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your November 2018 mid-month general readings. Thank you so much for joining us here today, and as always, welcome to any and all newcomers. Thank you for those of you who continue to follow my channel and for sending in all your support, feedback, and comments, and all your likes and shares. And always a big thank you to all of my clients out there, regular and new, for reaching out for those personal one-on-one readings and keeping me always so busy with those. It's an honor and a pleasure always. Thank you. If any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, live or recorded, you can get more information and my contact details by going to my YouTube channel's homepage, clicking on that little About button, or you can click on the description bar of any of the videos I post. Please feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you. I do a wide variety of readings in all areas of life of all different types and lengths. And turnaround time is pretty timely. I do readings full-time 5 to 6 days a week, so I'm pretty diligent at working with your schedules to get you a reading as quickly as possible. So if you're interested, send me an email. We'll go from there. For fast answers to the quick, easy questions, you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo, and that link is also provided. Excuse my being hoarse today. I am back from Europe and back in Northern California, but some of you may have heard on the news all the fires we have going on here, and the air quality is really bad, and so it's making me sound a little froggy. All right, let's get into this. This is for the Earth sign of Virgo for the remainder of November 2018. So we're looking at the last couple of weeks of November. I am recording these around the 10th and 11th. If you know your rising and your moon sign, check out those videos as well. That can provide additional clarification. As a lot of you know, general readings can always resonate a little differently for everybody who's watching, because there's so many of you watching. The area of your life may be different, that it resonates in might be different than somebody else, and the timing may vary a little bit earlier to a little bit later. But the energy and advice always remains the same. But it's always helpful to check out the other videos too. All right, Virgo, let's see what's in store for you for the remainder of November 2018. We have the Ace of Cups, followed by the Ten of Swords. We have the Four of Swords, followed by the Queen of Swords. From the bottom of the deck, overall energy and guidance is the Five of Pentacles. Well, you know, Virgo, it looks like somebody may be trying to come back for a reconciliation, a resolution, some closure on something, maybe with an apology or asking forgiveness, or for some of you, it might be you going to somebody else to seek this out. I mean, to me, to me, this is coming across as a relationship of some kind. Now, let me qualify that by saying I know that some people get a little frustrated with watching, you know, what is labeled as a general reading or not specifically focused in one area, and having a lot of those be focused on love. You know, we have to channel the messages that we, you know, interpret the cards and channel the messages that we get from Spirit to the best of our ability, the strongest first. But having said that, this looks like a relationship situation, Virgo. Relationships are us in relation to another person. For some of you, this might be a love and romance relationship, you know, with the romance, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, partner, that sort of relationship that's very intimate, loving, sensual, all of that. For some of you, it could be a relationship with a friend. This could even be a relationship with, you know, a colleague or coworker of some kind. But it looks like somebody hurt someone else, maybe even betrayed them, or whatever happened left this sense of betrayal. And it looks like there's some attempt at resolving that, reconciling that, bringing some closure to it, regardless of the nature of the relationship. And it looks like somebody was hurt and somebody's feeling left out. I mean, your overall energy is, and advice is the Five of Pentacles. Okay, just got something else. Some of you, whether you're on one side or the other, the situation is something that happened, I think, in the past, recent past, or maybe even a little bit longer than that, and it's over with, but somebody may be holding on, deliberately holding on to the hurt, which is keeping them stuck in the healing process and not allowing them to move forward, whether it's you or the other person or people. The Five of Pentacles is a card primarily of insufficiency and lack. If this were money and finances, it could represent not having enough money, you know, juggling bills, robbing Peter to pay Paul, being out of work, you know, just not having enough. There's a lack, there's an insufficiency. In the emotional realm of relationships, it can represent feeling, you know, just not good enough, that you don't measure up, or feeling all the way to feeling abandoned, rejected, shut out, left out in the cold somehow. But the positive aspect to the Five of Pentacles, you can see this couple standing out in front of what appears to be a church or cathedral, and they look like they're in need. Another tarot decks are sometimes depicted as being outside in the cold or the rain or the snow, you know, maybe looking a little homeless or very needy. So they're in need. There's an insufficiency. There's a lack of what they need. Now, you see this golden light shining through the church or cathedral window, which is and it's shining right there, right in their vicinity, almost right in front of them, but they're not noticing it because they're not looking at it, because they're only focused on whatever it is they need, or the insufficiency, or the problem, or the negativity. Now that light is symbolic for perhaps what they need, an answer, resources, a solution, help, but they're only focused on what the need is, rather than the fact that there might be something right there, right in front of their face, that they're either not seeing because they're only focused on, you know, the pain or the negativity or the challenge, or they're not taking it seriously or not believing in what it offers. So there is that aspect always to the Five of Pentacles as well. Sometimes in love, it can represent, you know, that somebody may have expressed interest in you, and you just kind of pass them over without really looking deep enough, when actually they may have turned out to have tremendous partner potential. It can also represent that as well, which this might be for some of you, because we have the Ace of Cups clarified by the Ten of Swords. Interesting combination. Ace of Cups. Cups is water energy. In the tarot, this is the energy of the heart, emotions, feelings, and relationships with others, all different kinds of relationships. Aces represent the number one, so they represent a new beginning, the start of a new path, or the opportunity for one. This can represent new love and romance, which it might be for some of you. Some of you may have recently met somebody that you're interested in, or that's expressed interest in you. If somebody has recently and you just kind of dismissed it without, you know, maybe taking a second look or getting to know them at least a little bit better, remember the Five of Pentacles, you may pass up something quite lovely by not taking the time to kind of look a little bit closer. So there may be that for some of you. And the Ten of Swords, this betrayal energy, or this hurt, betrayal, great disappointment energy, it might be that this new thing coming in is helping to kind of lessen or negate that, or bring that to an end. Although with the energy kind of being this Five of Pentacles, I feel like for more of you, this is an emotional new beginning. So while it can represent new love and romance, it also represents the heart opening up again, an emotional renewal. And this could be a renewal, an emotional renewal of a situation maybe that's been difficult, or has been a relationship that's been broken or stressed or really hurt. Or the opportunity for it, at least. Because what clarifies it is this Ten of Swords, which represents feeling very hurt, betrayed, or a very deep sense of disappointment. The positive aspect of the Ten of Swords is that it's over, it's done. And the tarot tends to represent the completion of a cycle completing, ending, or coming to an achievement point where it can then transition into something else and you can move beyond it. So it represents an end. Whatever put this man or woman face down on the ground looks to be kind of traumatic, painful, very challenging. But as you can see, there's a golden light shining, a golden healing light shining through these swords. It's time to get up, start brushing yourself off, and moving on. The sun is rising in the background, a new day is dawning, and the animals are beginning to return to the scene. Whatever happened, it's done, it's over, it's done. And yes, things do linger, and if it's trust that's been broken, that can be very difficult to rebuild. But if both people are focused on that being the goal, then it's totally accomplishable. Is that even a word? Accomplishable? It is, because I just said it. It's totally accomplishable and I mean, if both people want the same thing and they're willing to put in the work to get to it, then you'll get to it. That's just the way that it is. So, you know, it's over, it's done, it's behind you, and it looks like there's a new opportunity for the heart to once again open up and for healing to begin. So some of you, I mean, for a lot of you, I feel like this is a reconciliatory energy. Either you or somebody else is trying to, or, you know, reconcile or at least resolve and make right some resolution to something that was done before that left somebody, you or the other person, feeling very hurt or even betrayed, feeling like maybe they were on the outside or not good enough or shut out. And there's a new beginning here, or the possibility, the opportunity for a new beginning based on this reconciliatory energy. And some of you, it just may be a new relationship or friendship, you know, coming in that helps overcome this feeling of healing, this feeling of, you know, sadness or betrayal, whether it's recent or even in the long ago. You know, here in the United States, we are entering, you know, the holiday season. Thanksgiving is coming up here for us. And, you know, holidays can be a difficult time. Thanksgiving especially is a holiday that focuses a lot on family being together. And if you're, you know, don't particularly have that opportunity, you know, this holiday season or this Thanksgiving, you might be feeling this because you might be feeling alone or, you know, out in the cold somehow. So there's this attempt at reconciliation of the heart opening up again, whether you choose to take it or not. And again, it could be a romance relationship like husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, partnership. It could be a close friendship, family relationship, even a work colleague or a situation of that kind as well. Now at or towards the, but I think somebody's coming forth to say, I'm sorry, can we fix this, or can we at least put some resolution, some healing resolution on this? Now at or towards the end of November 2018, we have the Four of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Lots of swords energy. Swords, a little bit of earth, a little bit of water, a little bit of emotion. Swords is air. It's all about our thoughts, words, ideas, belief systems. So a lot of kind of mental stuff going on around this. Four of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Four of Swords is a card about temporary withdrawal. To rest, recover, recuperate, think, perhaps get a different perspective, seek some guidance or insight, maybe some feedback from someone you trust and admire and respect. I always add that in because, you know, if you're looking for good relationship advice, you don't want to go to somebody who, you know, either isn't in a stable relationship or doesn't have a very good history of that themselves. We don't want to go to a bartender to fix a broken foot. So make sure that the people that you go to seek advice from, particularly in the areas you're seeking advice in, that you respect their energy in that area of their life. So the Four of Swords is about taking a temporary withdrawal from some kind of conflict or challenge or whatever's in front of you. It can be a card that can represent feeling tired, worn out, exhausted, maybe needing to take a little bit better care of yourself for the time being. You know, it's obvious that whatever the details, an area of your life this may resonate in, it's obvious somebody was hurt, which means that there was conflict between people in some kind of relationship. And it looks like, you know, it's been kind of a long haul, a struggle, and somebody's maybe feeling a bit tired and exhausted from it and needing to take a step back. Looks like there's an opportunity for renewal or resolution, but I think Spirit is advising you that, I mean, if it's a truly toxic situation, then you have to remove yourself and do what's best for yourself. But if it's not, keep the door open. But I don't think this time period, I think you may want to take a step back, take care of yourself. Sometimes if we try to make a decision when we're in the midst of high emotion or feeling really tired and worn out, there's a higher chance of us making the wrong decisions based on that. So this is about taking some time to go, okay, there's this opportunity and I appreciate this opportunity. So I'm going to go over here and kind of recoup, take care of myself and think about it, and really think about it with some insight. wisdom, clarity, or seek out some guidance from somebody who can offer that to you, as manifested by the Queen of Swords. Queens and Kings represent individuals who have reached the top of their suit, so they're at the top of their game. This represents people who have mastered and are in control of the character traits which are inherent to their suit. They've grown and matured and evolved beyond that young, childlike energy of the page, beyond that spontaneous, impulsive energy of the knights, and they've, even though even kings and queens have their bad days, they've mastered that. They've mastered themselves and all of that. So swords, remember, is air energy, mental, cerebral, intellectual energy, belief systems, how we look at things, what we think about things, because that directly affects the way that we communicate and relate and see the world and people in the world and try to share ourselves with that. So the King and Queen of Swords both would be people who, this is Aquarius, Gemini, Libra energy, and it could be another person who is significant to you in this. It could be the other person with whom maybe you have having this conflict or issue with, or it could be somebody that is giving you clear advice and kind of helping guide you through this, or being a good friend or source of support or feedback or advice somehow. And the Queen of Swords would be a good one too. The Queen and King of Swords would both be people who, you know, she's got a long road behind her already. If she does, you know, she's got a lot of t-shirts in her closet, and they all say been there, done that. So in some ways she has more patience with some things because she's learned what's really important and she's let go of a lot. And she has less patience in some ways than she used to because she knows what's really important and what's not. She doesn't suffer fools very well. But she's very clear thinking, precise, detailed, truth-oriented. Okay, here's the problem. Let's look at the problem. Let's look at the possible solutions. Let's figure out the best way to do this. Very forthright, very straight, direct, and to the point. Perhaps even maybe very analytical, you know, with a good level of intelligence too, if not education to go along with it. Same as the King. If the Queen has a challenge, the Queen and King of Swords, if they have a challenge, it's sometimes that, I mean, the textbook air sign person, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, can sometimes be a little overly critical. They can tend to overthink things. They tend to come from a cerebral place before a heart place. It's not mind against heart. It's just, you know, they try to come from a place of thought first. So sometimes they can come across as a bit reserved or emotionally aloof or distant. They don't necessarily mean to, but sometimes they do, especially kings and queens, because they've been there, seen that, done it all. That road's behind them, you know. But it looks like somebody who, again, it might be the other person in this challenge or conflict, which I believe for most of you is past. Or it could be somebody that's giving you clear advice or support or encouragement in doing this. And it's definitely advice if you're not actively seeking advice or getting advice from somebody else to manifest the energy of the Queen of Swords in dealing with this. Although I think opportunities for reconciliation and positive closure are almost always worth exploring and keeping the door open, unless, like I said, it's a truly toxic thing and you can't do that, so then you just need to remove yourself, period. But I feel like Spirit is saying it looks like this thing has worn everybody out, and keep the door open, but kind of maybe step back a bit. Take care of yourself, get some rest, so that you can think clearly about this. And when you do make a decision, decide to explore, proceed, or even say no, or even if you're the one offering, the other person says no, then you can still, you know, walk away and say that, you know, I waited until I was, you know, in control of myself, and I really think that this was the best thing for me to do, whether it's a yes or whether it's a no. So just keep that in mind. It looks like this is, I mean, I feel like this is a situation that's been playing out for some time. And one of the things that I've started doing the last couple of months with the general readings is when a reading looks a little more, you know, challenging at some times, I like to pull a few additional cards. And here, I think we have good advice already from Spirit. I just want to pull a few more cards to see how this continues to play out a little bit further. Because it feels like a situation that's playing out, and Spirit's asking you to kind of take some time out to rest, consider. Eight of Wands, communication, Two of Cups, soulmate, kindred spirits, and the Page of Cups, messages of love. Right. So just as a few continuum cards, continuation cards, we have the Eight of Wands, which can represent a lot of powerful, in the upright, it implies positive communication. Communication, conversation, exchanges, can also represent travel as well. On the upright position, the implication is strongly positive, clarified by the Two of Cups. Definitely a soulmate karmic thread in this relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, friend, colleague, or otherwise. You know, a karmic connection, which means that spirit has brought the two of you together, whether it's romantic or even business. They've brought the two of you together to give you the opportunity, and sometimes that opportunity represents, you know, you're kind of batting up against each other, but giving you the opportunity to learn and grow and evolve through the process of working things out one way or the other. And we kind of grow and evolve from that, ideally. So that's what that karmic connection really means fundamentally. Some soulmates, you know, we're meant to be with for the rest of our lives, some just a few chapters of the book. And then after that is the Page of Cups, messages of love, or positive messages or messengers. The beginnings, again, pages represent being at the introductory phase of something, and cups is heart, emotional, relationship energy. It's a nice pair to the Ace of Cups. The Two of Cups, you've got the Ace of Cups, Page of Cups, the Two of Cups. So it's this emotional energy, but it's kind of in this newness or introductory phase, you know, kind of starting again or starting over again. It feels like it's an opportunity. Someone's presenting it to you, or you're presenting it to them. Somebody's trying to reconcile or apologize. I feel like for a lot of you that potential looks good and should be explored, because I think this is a connection worth keeping. Again, unless it's truly toxic, we have to do what's best for ourselves so that we can move on. But I just feel like this month may not be the month to give an answer or set things too much in motion. Maybe explore a little bit. But it looks like, you know, some of the emotions from whatever happened previously are quite strong, and there's a sense of feeling a bit worn out from it all. So kind of keep the door open, but don't just jump right into it, I guess. So Virgo, that pretty much wraps up your November 2018 mid-month general reading. I hope you found it helpful. Again, if any of you are interested in a more personal one-on-one reading with me, live or recorded, you can get more information by clicking on that little About button you'll find on my YouTube channel's homepage. You can click on the description bar of any of the videos I post. I do love and romance, of course, relationship compatibility charting, reconciliation potential, career work and finance, as well as investment readings. And I also offer 6 and 12-month overviews, which take a look at what's coming in all the main sectors of your life over the next 6 or 12 months, depending on how far ahead you want to look. And while you can do them at any time of the year, they're particularly popular this time of the year during the holidays as we're transitioning out of one year and into the new one. People like to look ahead, so I always get a lot more requests for those this time of year, and gift readings as well, which you can do any time of the year. But again, during this holiday season, towards the end of the year, they're quite popular, as people like giving the gift of a personal reading for friends and family during the holidays. So something to consider. Something else to consider. And for those fast answers to the quick, easy questions, you can find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy, and that link is also provided. So Virgo, I will see you all again in a couple of weeks. I hope I didn't slip and say Taurus here. I know at the beginning of the months I did that. I don't know whether it was a Taurus or Virgo reading, but it happens sometimes. This video is for Virgo for the remainder of November 2018, just to clarify in case I did it again. So I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the December 2018 general readings. And until then, Virgo, as always, I am wishing you joy, happiness, peace, and a blessed life. Take care, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.